So we're going. How far out of town do you live?
Oh, it's half an hour. Vous reprenez le périph' sud ou ouais? Non? Ouais.
We're going to Francois' house.
Ouais, comme vous voulez.
Half an hour away.
On va aller direction Bercy, tout ça.
Ouais, c'est ça. Puis à Bercy, on prend la 4.
That would be Francois Audouze. Have you met Robert Parker?
Never.
You've never met Robert Parker?
No.
Have you met Neil Martin?
Yes, I've met him.
How is he? What's he like?
Oh, a nice chap.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I saw him. At the beginning. Now he's a little. He's become a personality. When he was a little.
Oh, so you knew him when he was.
He was younger in the job, and he was a very pleasant guy.
Yeah.
But now he's invited everywhere, so it gives big head. When you drink wines that you never pay,
right?
It's different from another person.
Do you have a feel for what his palate is like? Is he going to be like Parker or?
He has a good taste.
He has his own. Is it a European taste?
Yes.
Is it a?
No, he has a good taste. I think he has not the memory which made the fame of Parker.
Yeah. You have never met Robert Parker?
No, never.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah.
Have you met James Suckling?
No.
Do you even know who James Suckling is?
Yeah. No, I know who he is. But we were probably at parties, but
nobody introduced you.
No, I know my god in the world of wine, which is the man of Christie's.
Have you ever met Coates?
No.
Have you met Jensis Robinson?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
She's a nice person.
Is she? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely nice.
Yeah.
And we have. I invited her. It was interesting. I invited her, and I wondered which wine would be a surprise for her.
Yeah.
And I took in my cellar a Chablis Grenouille Long des Paquis, 1959.
Oh my God!
She had never drank,
and it was still good. It was not oxidized or anything.
No,
like
it
that.
was fantastic one.
And where was this now?
We went in a restaurant, which is a very nice restaurant, Hiramatsu, in Paris.
Yep.
From the Japanese chef.
Was there anybody else in the dinner?
No, we were.
You and Jensis Robinson? Oh, you and your wife, of
and
course.
And her husband.
And her husband. Oh,
so
wow.
it was a private.
In Paris. Yeah.
In Paris. Yes.
Very lovely. Wow. So, I'm filming this here. So what is your, all right, so what if we, I know this is a tough question, but if you had to pick the greatest wine you have ever tasted, it's like, it's,
so
I know it's, it depends on the mood and the, all that.
Yeah,
but
of course. No, I've drunk, you must know that I've drank all the legendary
of course,
wines that you imagine.
1900 Margaux is up there.
So I've drank so many of them.
Yes.
But I had one day, I would say, due to the physical emotion.
Yeah.
It was a Montrachet Bouchard 1864.
1864.
When I had this,
a year before Abraham Lincoln was killed. Yeah. 1864.
And for this wine,
yeah.
When I take the first sip, at this moment, it was as if the earth was not rolling around.
Yeah.
I was in a space with no time, no space, nothing. I was in my own space,
Wow.
and I had the
Now,
feeling of perfection.
Give us an idea of how long ago that was. We're in 2015 here.
No, it was in 10 years ago, probably.
10 years ago. Wow.
Less than 10 years ago.
Okay.
And it was so fantastic.
Yeah.
And it was a physical emotion. I had another time a physical emotion.
Yep.
It was when I drank Ikem 1900.
1900 Decam.
And I was with Alexander Versailles,
Yep.
and I told him my back is how
Was this at Decam or
at
Decam? Yeah.
And I said to Alexander, my back is I'm like shivering. You would say shivering, yeah.
Yeah.
Something. I had a physical emotion.
It was an orgasmic experience.
Emotion, and it was so incredible.
Was it? What format was it? Was it from?
It was a bottle.
It was a bottle. Yeah. Yeah.
But it is something you never wait for it.
Yeah.
It comes so. You have a
Yes.
physical emotion.
Oh, wait.
But I would say that the greatest red ever
The
for
greatest
me
red ever. Yeah.
is Hermitage La Chapelle 61.
61 Hermitage.
La Chapelle.
Really?
You know,
Really?
This
Now, why? I mean, because that surprises me a little bit. Because I would expect, a classic Medoc, maybe.
no, because
but
this wine, which is a legendary wine, when you have it, you have. I will talk about the best ever Bordeaux.
yes.
But this Hermitage La Chapelle
Yeah.
was at that moment the impression of the total perfection of wine.
Really?
So
What was the? But first of all, tell us about the circuit. Was it at a dinner? Was it at
it
the?
was at a dinner with
dinner,
friends. And
yeah.
I did not bring the wine. It was
Yeah.
a friend who brought the wine.
Yeah.
I had brought very great wine.
No, I really know nothing about that wine. I know nothing about 61 in.
Yes, but
in
it's if you compare with the Bordeaux,
Yeah.
Hermitage La Chapelle is a wine that has absolutely not a constant evolution on time.
Yeah.
You have awful years and fantastic years.
Right.
And among the fantastic years, there is one which is the legend.
Yeah.
And it is 61.
Wow.
And 61 is every
But-
everyone who has one day met this wine is.
But I mean, you just showed me tonight that you've drunk I think it was 136 vintages of red
Yeah.
Bordeaux,
Yeah.
and you picked a Rhone. You picked a non-Bordeaux as your favorite wine. Ever.
Yes, yes.
Because I mean, would it be fair to say that? I mean, and I'm not going to hold you to this, but if of your magnificent cellar, what percentage would you say is Bordeaux? Off the top of your head.
I would say, I will make it as a joke.
Yeah.
I have three thirds.
Yes. Yeah.
One is Bordeaux.
Yes.
One is Burgundy.
Mm-hmm.
One is Liquorous. One
Okay.
is Champagne.
Yeah.
And one is Others.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And but your greatest wine ever was from the others.
Yes, but if you say the greatest Bordeaux,
Yes.
for me, I have two greatest Bordeaux. The first is Mouton 1900.
Mouton 1900. Now we've heard you speak of the 1900 Margaux, but
Yes.
I've not. This is the first I've heard of you speak of the 1900 Mouton,
Yeah,
which of course at the time was
Yes.
was a mere second growth.
Yes, but it was a fantastic one. And the second is Mouton 1945.
Mouton.
Because Mouton 1945 is the absolute perfection of Bordeaux.
Okay, tell me a little bit about the legendary Mouton. First of all, obviously, it was the year that the war ended. How much of 1945 is about the fact that it was such a historical year? Is that 0% a factor? 20%? I mean, 1945 was one of the most important years in Europe and in the world.
Yes, but when you have your glass of wine, when you are in front of such a wonder,
Yeah.
you know the year, you know what you are
Yep.
drinking, but you are in front of perfection.
Okay, so a skeptic would say, well, all right, one of the greatest years, maybe the greatest year in Bordeaux, just happens to be the year that, the
Yes, but
Allies defeated
but,
the Nazis.
I would like to tell you something which is for me very important. When you are in front of perfection, you don't know why, but you are in front of perfection.
Okay.
So it is completely different from another wine.
Yeah.
You can have great wines, very great wines, but at one moment you have perfection.
Yes.
And when you are in front of perfection, you don't ask yourself if it was 45.
Yes.
You are in front of perfection. And
Now,
that cannot be commanded by anything.
and when you had the 95 Mouton, it was not, you weren't sitting there saying to yourself, I am drinking a 1995 Mouton. I mean, obviously you were, but it was the fact that it was from that epic year, it was not coloring the way you approached the wine.
No.
It was
Because
just independently
because
yeah.
I told you I've drank such a range of years.
Of course. Look, there's no one I would believe on this subject more than you.
So there are so many years which have something very.
Of course, you have
very deep.
You could have picked any other year, but
Yeah.
you tell me that.
Yeah, but this is a wine.
How would you characterize 1948, for example, Cheval Blanc and
48 is a very good year.
Yeah.
But it had the disadvantage to appear between 47 and 49.
Okay.
And so people did not take enough interest, but 48 is a very great year.
Yeah.
And made very. I remember Mission 1948, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
And also some other wines which were absolutely fantastic. And Ikem, for example, is a hidden vintage compared with other vintages, but it is a fantastic wine.
Now, what do you think of the 1989 Lynch Barges?
1989. Among what is interesting, I love it as a young wine.
Okay.
But when you know that
It doesn't have the complexity of
it
those.
has
It's
26 years. So.
But it's very representative of Pauillac.
Yes, it has the characteristic of Pauillac. It is extremely young, and it is a big promise of a wonder when it will have some years more.
Right. So okay. That 2001 Decem that we had tonight was
wow.
Yes, that's a real. Now, what is your obviously you've had many vintages of Sauternes.
Yeah.
How would you characterize the 2001 compared to the last 2 centuries worth of?
When I discovered the first day I discovered 201, I thought immediately this is something unique.
Yes.
And for me, it is in the range of the greatest year of Ikem.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah. And for me, when at that
now
time,
let's stop right there for a second. I mean, obviously, I'm sure there are some people in the world who have drunk more Decem than you, but not. Certainly you're in of the 8 billion people on the planet. You're right up there in the top 100, and you're telling me that 2001 Decem that we had tonight is one of your greatest experiences with Decem that you've ever had.
Exactly. But I would say, let me correct on one thing.
Yes.
201 is probably one of the greatest year, but the one that we had tonight is great, but it is in a phase which is not the best phase.
Okay.
When I discovered 201 just at the beginning, it was a promising of the best. Today it is a great wine, but it is not in a greatest phase of this wine.
Yes.
The greatest phase will come later. You understand?
Absolutely. Now, what would you predict would be like the age worthiness of a 2001 Decem? When do you think? How long is that?
It is above
50 years.
No, it is above 1 century.
100 years. Yeah.
It is above 1 century. Yeah. And it will be in let's say in 40 years it will be a wonder.
Yes.
A complete wonder.
Yeah.
When I see the 59 that I drink today, it will be in the same range as the 59 that I drink today.
Now that's saying a lot. I mean, that's this was the first time you had the 2001 Decem?